When we think about change, especially change in our health, our energy, or our overall life, we often imagine that it has to be something massive, dramatic, and overwhelming. We convince ourselves that we must sign up for an intense program, completely cut out all of our favorite foods, or push ourselves through hours at the gym every single day. The image in our mind is usually an all or nothing scenario. Either we are totally disciplined and perfect, or we have failed. But the truth is far simpler and far more encouraging. Lasting change, the kind of change that transforms your body, renews your energy, and elevates your entire life, rarely comes from giant leaps. It comes from the small steps we take every single day, the habits so simple that they almost seem too easy to matter. Think about it for a moment. Imagine a dripping faucet. At first, it doesn't look like much, just a drop here and a drop there. But over time, those drops can fill a bucket, overflow a sink, or even cause serious damage if ignored. Habits work the same way. They are like those drops of water, tiny, consistent actions that accumulate into something powerful and undeniable. When we commit to small habits, we create momentum, and that momentum grows into transformation. You don't need to climb the entire mountain today. You only need to take the first step, and then another, and then another. That is how real change is built. The beauty of small habits is that they are manageable. They don't overwhelm you or make you feel like you have to sacrifice everything you love. Instead, they fit into your life in a way that feels natural and sustainable. For example, committing to walk for 10 minutes after dinner might not sound like much, but repeated over weeks and months, it improves digestion, strengthens your body, and boosts your energy levels. Choosing to drink a glass of water before you reach for coffee may seem insignificant in the moment, but that one habit can rehydrate your system, improve your focus, and set the tone for healthier decisions throughout the day. Writing down one thing you are grateful for before you go to bed doesn't take more than a minute, yet over time, it reshapes your mindset, improves your sleep, and shifts your outlook on life. These are not dramatic actions. They are not extreme sacrifices. They are small, steady habits that compound into extraordinary results. Science backs this up as well. Our brains thrive on repetition and reward. When you introduce a small habit, your brain doesn't resist it as strongly as it does with large, overwhelming changes. Instead, it adapts, accepts, and begins to crave the consistency. Over time, these habits become automatic, part of your identity. You no longer have to think about drinking water, moving your body, or practicing gratitude. You simply do it because that's who you've become. And that is the secret. Habits are not just about what you do, but about who you become in the process. Now, you might ask yourself, but will these small habits really make a difference? Can something so tiny actually change my body, my energy, and my life? The answer is yes, because of the principle of compounding. Just like money invested grows with interest, habits accumulate and expand their impact. Think of brushing your teeth. One day of brushing doesn't matter much, but years of brushing protect your teeth, give you confidence, and prevent disease. It's the same with movement, nutrition, and mindset. Missing one day won't ruin you, but showing up consistently will absolutely transform you. Another key point is that small habits are empowering. They give you quick wins and build your confidence. When you accomplish something small, you feel capable, and that feeling pushes you to do more. Success breeds success. You may start by walking 10 minutes, and before long, you're walking 30. You may start with one glass of water, and before you know it, you've cut down on sugary drinks entirely. You may begin with one gratitude statement, and suddenly you find yourself noticing the good in everything around you. The journey grows naturally because you allowed yourself to start small. So often, people fail not because they lack the willpower, but because they try to do too much at once. They sprint, but then burn out. They overhaul everything, but cannot maintain it. Small habits prevent this trap. They give you a pace you can sustain, a rhythm you can keep up with. You don't need to flip your life upside down. You only need to make one small adjustment today. And once you master that, you add another and another. Over time, your body changes, your energy rises, your life becomes fuller and more meaningful. Let me leave you with this image. Imagine a single seed planted in the soil. At first, it looks like nothing. It's small, fragile, and unimpressive. But with time, with consistency, and with nourishment, that seed grows roots, sprouts leaves, and eventually becomes a towering tree that provides shade, oxygen, and beauty. Your small habits are those seeds. They may not look like much today, but if you plant them, protect them, and nurture them, they will grow into results bigger than you can imagine. That is the power of small habits. They create big results, not because they demand everything from you all at once, but because they teach you that greatness is built one small choice at a time. If you want to change your body, your energy, and your life, start small, stay consistent, and trust that those tiny steps will carry you farther than you ever thought possible. Movement is one of the most natural things a human being can do, and yet in today's world, it is something we often forget, neglect, or even avoid. We were not designed to sit in chairs all day, stare at screens for hours, or remain motionless for the majority of our waking time. Our bodies were built to move, to walk, to stretch, to climb, to dance, to play. When you move, you don't just exercise your muscles. You wake up your entire system. You remind your body what it was made for. And in doing so, you unlock energy, focus, and strength that were lying dormant inside you. The beauty of this truth is that it doesn't take hours of grueling exercise or the perfect gym membership to experience the benefits. You don't have to train like an athlete or commit to a boot camp program that feels overwhelming. What matters is consistency. Even 10 minutes of movement each day can change the way you feel, the way you think, and the way your body responds to the demands of life. Think about it. 10 minutes is less than 1% of your day. Almost anyone can carve that out, whether it's first thing in the morning, during a lunch break, or before bed. And yet that small commitment can trigger a chain reaction of positive effects. When you move your body, your heart rate increases, your blood circulates more effectively, and oxygen flows more freely to your brain. This physical shift creates an almost immediate improvement in energy and mood. That's why even a brisk walk around the block can leave you feeling refreshed and ready to tackle what's ahead. Movement also stimulates the release of endorphins, those natural feel-good chemicals that reduce stress and increase happiness. It's no exaggeration to say that 10 minutes of movement can completely turn around a bad day. But beyond the instant benefits, daily movement compounds over time. Just like saving money in a bank account, each small investment adds up. 10 minutes a day doesn't sound like much, but over a year, that's more than 60 hours of exercise. And 60 hours of increased circulation, muscle activation, calorie burn, stress relief, and mental clarity can completely reshape your health. The person who chooses small daily movement ends the year stronger, more flexible, more resilient, and more energized than the one who waits for the perfect time to start a complicated routine. One of the most common barriers people face when it comes to exercise is the belief that it must be hard, long, and exhausting to count. But that belief is a trap. Movement is not about punishment or perfection. It is about honoring your body and giving it what it craves. A short walk with a friend, stretching while listening to music, playing with your children in the yard, doing squats while waiting for the microwave. These moments may feel small, but they remind your body that it is alive, capable, and meant to be in motion. Over time, these small efforts build not only physical strength, but also self-confidence. You start to identify as someone who moves, someone who values health, someone who takes action. Another powerful effect of daily movement is its ability to sharpen your mind. Studies have shown that physical activity boosts memory, enhances focus, and increases creativity. Have you ever noticed how your best ideas often come while you're walking, jogging, or simply moving around? That's because movement encourages your brain to form new connections, reduces mental fog, and stimulates problem-solving abilities. So when you take 10 minutes to move your body, you're not taking time away from productivity. You're investing in it. There is also a spiritual and emotional dimension to movement. When you engage your body, you connect with yourself on a deeper level. You feel grounded, present, and alive in a way that sitting still often cannot provide. Movement can become a form of meditation, a chance to release stress, clear your mind, and reconnect with gratitude. Even something as simple as stretching in the morning can feel like a ritual that tells your body and your soul, "Today I choose to show up. Today I choose to care for myself." Of course, there will always be excuses. "I don't have time. I'm too tired. It won't make a difference." But think about this: movement creates energy, not the other way around. The days when you feel the most tired are often the days when a short walk or a few minutes of stretching would help you the most. Energy is not something you wait to feel before you move. It is something you generate by moving. And as for time, the truth is that we always find time for what we value. If you can scroll through your phone for 10 minutes, you can certainly move your body for 10 minutes. The real question is, how much do you value your body, your energy, and your life? So start simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Walk around your neighborhood, dance to your favorite song, climb the stairs instead of taking the elevator, stretch while you watch TV. Celebrate those small victories because they matter more than you think. Each time you move, you are not only strengthening your body, you are sending yourself a message: "I am worth this. I deserve energy, health, and vitality." In the end, daily movement is not about chasing perfection or achieving some ideal image. It is about building a life where your body feels alive, your mind feels clear, and your spirit feels strong. When you commit to moving every day, even in the smallest ways, you are committing to yourself. You are choosing to create energy instead of waiting for it. You are choosing to build resilience instead of letting life wear you down. And you are choosing to live fully, one step, one stretch, one breath at a time. Your body is the most advanced machine on the planet. Yet many people forget the simple truth that even the most powerful engine needs the right fuel. You can't expect your car to run smoothly if you pour the wrong substance into its tank, and the same is true for your body. What you put into it, both in terms of hydration and nourishment, directly determines how much energy you have, how clearly you can think, and how resilient you feel against stress, fatigue, and illness. And just like with exercise, you don't need a perfect, complicated plan to see results. Small, consistent choices in how you hydrate and nourish yourself can completely change the way you feel and live. Start with the most basic fuel of all, water. More than half of your body is made up of it, and every cell, every organ, and every function you rely on depends on proper hydration. Yet many of us go through the day slightly dehydrated without even realizing it. We mask our thirst with coffee, soda, or energy drinks, but what our body is really crying out for is plain, refreshing water. Imagine beginning your day with a simple glass of water. Before anything else, that one habit alone flushes out toxins, wakes up your digestive system, and instantly refreshes your mind. It's such a small action, yet it sets the tone for how you treat your body the rest of the day. Hydration does more than just quench your thirst. It sharpens focus, keeps your joints moving smoothly, regulates body temperature, and supports healthy skin. Even a small dip in hydration can leave you feeling tired, foggy, or irritable. The beauty is that this is one of the easiest habits to build. Carry a bottle with you, set reminders, and choose water before reaching for other drinks. Over time, you'll notice the difference in your energy, your mood, and even the way your body performs. But hydration is only part of the picture. Nourishment is equally important. Think about food not just as calories, but as information. Each bite you take sends instructions to your body, telling it how to perform. When you choose whole, real foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to function at its best. You're fueling it with vitamins, minerals, and natural energy sources that keep you vibrant and strong. On the other hand, when most of your choices come from processed, sugary, or highly artificial foods, your body struggles. The instructions it receives are confusing, incomplete, and sometimes harmful. The good news is that you don't need to overhaul your diet overnight to see results. Small, consistent upgrades can make a world of difference. Add an extra serving of vegetables to one meal. Choose fruit instead of a sugary snack once a day. Replace one soda with a glass of water. These might sound like minor changes, but they compound over time, and soon they become part of your lifestyle. You start to crave the foods that make you feel good rather than the ones that leave you sluggish. And it's not just about physical energy. The way you nourish yourself directly impacts your mental state. A balanced meal with whole foods stabilizes your blood sugar, which helps stabilize your mood. Healthy fats and proteins fuel your brain, making you more alert and focused. Too much processed sugar or refined carbs, on the other hand, can cause spikes and crashes that leave you irritable, exhausted, or anxious. By nourishing your body with intention, you are also protecting your mind and emotions. Many people avoid making changes to their eating habits because they think it requires perfection or strict rules. But the truth is that nourishment is about progress, not perfection. You don't have to give up everything you love. You simply need to make small, better choices more often than not. Over time, those choices add up, and your body responds with gratitude in the form of higher energy, better sleep, clearer thinking, and a stronger immune system. There is also a deeper, almost spiritual element to how we hydrate and nourish ourselves. Choosing to care for your body in this way is an act of self-respect. It is a statement that says, I value my energy. I value my health. I value my life. When you drink water instead of reaching for something that will drain you, you are voting for the person you want to become. When you prepare a meal with fresh, colorful foods instead of grabbing fast food, you are sending yourself a powerful message, I am worth this effort. That mindset alone changes everything because the way you treat your body reflects the way you see yourself. Of course, there will be moments when it's easier to grab the quick, unhealthy option or to forget about water altogether. That's normal. What matters is not perfection, but consistency. One skipped glass of water or one indulgent meal won't ruin you, just like one workout won't make you fit. But the pattern you build day after day determines your future. If most of your choices lean toward hydration and nourishment, the results will show not just in your body, but in your energy, your confidence, and your overall quality of life. So don't underestimate the power of simple choices. Drink water first thing in the morning. Carry a bottle with you. Add one extra vegetable, one extra fruit, one whole food to your plate. Celebrate those small wins. Over time, these habits will transform you from the inside out. Your body will thank you with more energy, your mind will thank you with greater clarity, and your life will thank you with more vitality. The message is simple. When you hydrate and nourish wisely, you don't just survive, you thrive. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices you can bring into your life. It requires no money, no special equipment, and no complicated plan, yet it has the ability to shift your mindset, uplift your energy, and change the way you experience your entire world. Many people think of gratitude as something you express only on special occasions, like saying thanks during the holidays or writing a polite note after receiving a gift. But true gratitude is much more than that. It is a daily habit, a way of looking at life, and a tool that transforms how you feel, how you think, and how you connect with others. The human mind is wired to focus on problems. We tend to notice what's missing, what's broken, or what's wrong. This negativity bias served a purpose long ago when survival depended on scanning for danger. But in modern life, this constant focus on the negative can drain our energy, fuel stress, and make us feel overwhelmed. Gratitude interrupts that pattern. It shifts your attention from what you lack to what you already have. It doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending challenges don't exist. It means choosing to also recognize the good, no matter how small. Imagine starting or ending your day by simply naming 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It might be the warm cup of coffee you enjoyed in the morning, the smile from a stranger, the comfort of your bed, or the fact that your heart is still beating and giving you another chance at life. Writing these things down or even saying them out loud trains your brain to look for the positive. Over time, this rewires your mindset. What once felt ordinary begins to feel like a blessing. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, you notice what's abundant. Gratitude also has a powerful effect on your energy. Think about how heavy it feels to carry complaints, worries, or resentment. Now think about how light you feel when you pause and truly appreciate something or someone. Gratitude is an energy shift. It replaces bitterness with joy, stress with peace, and anxiety with hope. That's why people who practice gratitude regularly often report feeling happier, calmer, and more optimistic, even when their external circumstances haven't changed dramatically. It's not that life suddenly becomes perfect, it's that gratitude changes how you see life, which changes how you experience it. There's also a deep connection between gratitude and relationships. When you take the time to express appreciation to others, you strengthen bonds. A simple thank you can go a long way, but going deeper, acknowledging someone's effort, kindness, or presence in your life creates lasting connection. People crave recognition, and gratitude is a gift you can give freely every single day. When practiced consistently, it makes you more empathetic, more compassionate, and more connected to the people around you. Science has caught up with what philosophers and spiritual leaders have known for centuries. Gratitude works. Studies show that people who practice gratitude sleep better, manage stress more effectively, and even improve their physical health. The reason is simple. When your mind is at peace and your heart is light, your body responds with balance. Stress hormones decrease, your immune system strengthens, and your overall well-being improves. Something as simple as writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day can literally rewire your brain chemistry for positivity. It's important to remember that gratitude doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Life is full of challenges, losses, and hardships, and it's natural to feel sadness or frustration in those moments. Gratitude, however, can exist alongside those emotions. Even in the darkest times, there is often something to be thankful for: a lesson learned, a supportive friend, the strength you discovered within yourself, or simply the gift of another day. In fact, gratitude is often most powerful when practiced in difficult times because it reminds you that there is still light even in the shadows. Like any habit, gratitude grows with practice. At first, it might feel awkward or forced. You might struggle to come up with things you're grateful for, especially if you've been caught in a cycle of stress or negativity. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Gratitude is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Eventually, it becomes second nature. You start to notice beauty in the ordinary, joy in the small moments, and opportunities where you once saw obstacles. Making gratitude part of your routine doesn't have to be complicated. You can keep a small notebook by your bed and jot down 3 things each night. You can pause at the dinner table and share what you're grateful for with your family. You can take a deep breath during your commute and silently thank the universe for one blessing in your life. These moments take only seconds, but their impact lasts far longer. Gratitude also teaches you presence. When you're focused on appreciating what's in front of you, You're not worrying about the past or obsessing about the future. You're here now, fully alive in this moment. And that presence is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself because life is only ever lived in the now. Gratitude anchors you to that reality and helps you savor it fully. So ask yourself, what can you be grateful for today? Maybe it's the breath you're taking right now, the technology that allows you to read this, the people who love you, or the opportunities that lie ahead. Whatever it is, let yourself feel it. Gratitude is not just a thought. It's a feeling that warms your heart, softens your perspective, and lifts your spirit. At its core, gratitude is about recognizing that life, even with its challenges, is still filled with gifts. And when you make gratitude a daily habit, you create a ripple effect that transforms not only your energy, but your relationships, your health, and your entire outlook. Small moments of thankfulness add up to a life that feels fuller, richer, and more meaningful. Gratitude doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how you live in it. There is a special kind of energy that comes not from caffeine, not from adrenaline, and not from forcing yourself through sheer willpower. It comes from alignment. Alignment is the state where your body, your mind, and your choices are working together instead of pulling you in different directions. When you are aligned, you feel lighter, clearer, and more powerful, as if life is flowing with you instead of against you. It is not about being perfect or having everything figured out, but about creating harmony between how you treat your body, what you focus on in your mind, and the actions you take in your daily life. Think about what it feels like when you are out of alignment. Your body is tired because you haven't moved or nourished it properly. Your mind is cluttered with stress, negativity, or distractions. Your energy feels heavy because your actions don't reflect your true values. In that state, even the simplest tasks feel draining. You push through, but it feels like you're carrying weights on your shoulders. Many people live like this without realizing that the exhaustion they feel isn't a permanent condition, it's a signal. It's their body and spirit telling them they're out of balance. Now imagine the opposite. You wake up and drink a glass of water. You move your body, even if only for 10 minutes, and you feel your blood start to circulate. You take a moment to write down something you're grateful for, and suddenly your perspective shifts. These small actions align your physical body with your mental and emotional state. The result? Energy. Not the short burst of energy that comes from sugar or stimulants, but a steady, natural, sustainable energy that carries you through the day. That is the power of alignment. Alignment is not about doing everything right or living by rigid rules. It is about choosing actions that support who you want to be and letting go of the ones that drain you. For example, when your body craves rest, alignment means giving yourself permission to sleep instead of pushing through endlessly. When your mind craves clarity, alignment means turning off distractions and giving yourself space to think. When your heart craves connection, alignment means reaching out to a friend instead of numbing yourself with noise. Alignment is about listening, respecting, and responding to what your body and soul truly need. Energy flows more freely when there is no internal conflict. When your habits match your goals, when your words match your values, and when your daily actions reflect the life you want, you stop wasting energy fighting yourself. Instead, that energy gets directed into growth, creativity, and joy. This is why small habits like movement, nourishment, and gratitude are so powerful. They may seem simple, but together they create alignment. They bring your body, your mind, and your spirit onto the same page. Another important aspect of alignment is honesty with yourself. Many times, exhaustion comes not just from lack of sleep or poor diet, but from living in a way that doesn't match who you truly are, pretending to be someone you're not, saying yes when you want to say no, chasing goals you don't really care about. All of these create friction, and friction eats energy. When you are aligned with your truth, you feel lighter, because you're not wasting energy pretending or fighting against yourself. Instead, you're flowing with what feels real and meaningful to you. Think about the people you admire most. Often, they radiate a kind of effortless energy. It's not because they never get tired or never face challenges, but because they are aligned. Their actions reflect their values. Their bodies, minds, and spirits are connected. You can feel their authenticity, and it inspires you. The good news is that this isn't something reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone willing to take small, consistent steps toward alignment in their own life. One way to build this is by checking in with yourself regularly. Ask, how is my body feeling? Am I treating it with the respect it deserves? How is my mind? Am I feeding it with positivity or letting negativity run the show? How is my heart? Am I connected to what matters, or am I distracted by noise? These simple questions bring awareness, and awareness is the first step to alignment. Once you notice where you are out of sync, you can begin to make small shifts. And remember, alignment doesn't mean you never struggle. Life will always bring challenges, unexpected setbacks, and moments of imbalance. The key is not to avoid them, but to return to alignment as often as possible. Just like a compass always points north, your habits and choices can guide you back when you drift. That's why daily rituals matter. They keep you anchored. Drinking water, moving your body, practicing gratitude, these are not just random habits. They are anchors of alignment. They keep your energy flowing in the right direction. When you live in alignment, you don't have to chase energy. It naturally rises within you. You feel motivated not because you force yourself, but because your mind and body are clear. You feel resilient not because challenges disappear, but because you have balance to face them with strength. And you feel fulfilled not because life is perfect, but because your actions match the person you truly want to be. At its core, alignment is about harmony. When your body is cared for, your mind is clear, and your heart is grateful, you unlock a level of energy that no external stimulant can provide. That energy flows into your work, your relationships, your passions, and your dreams. It makes you magnetic, resilient, and alive. The best part is, alignment is not built in one big moment. It's built in the small daily choices that honor who you are. So many people wait for the right time to change their lives. They wait for Monday, for the beginning of the month, for the start of a new year, or for the perfect conditions to appear. They wait until they feel ready, until they have more time, more money, or more energy. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. There will always be obstacles, distractions, or excuses. If you wait for the stars to align before you take action, you may spend your whole life waiting. The power lies in starting small and starting today. The idea of change can feel overwhelming when you look at it as a giant, impossible leap. You tell yourself you need to lose all the weight, fix every habit, completely transform your lifestyle, or reinvent your career. That picture is so big that it paralyzes you. But the reality is that you don't need to do everything at once. You only need to do one small thing today. Change doesn't begin with the finish line. It begins with the first step. Think of it like planting a tree. If you imagine the huge branches, the thick trunk, and the shade it will one day provide, it might feel impossible. But all you actually need to do right now is plant the seed. That small action sets everything else in motion. With care, consistency, and time, the tree grows. In the same way, your small daily choices are the seeds of your transformation. A glass of water, a short walk, a note of gratitude, a moment of reflection. These don't look like much on their own, but they grow into something remarkable when repeated. The beauty of starting small is that it bypasses resistance. Your brain often resists change because it feels unfamiliar and unsafe. If you try to overhaul everything at once, your brain sounds the alarm and you quickly fall back into old patterns. But a small change feels manageable. It doesn't trigger the same level of resistance. Walk for 5 minutes. Stretch before bed. Write one sentence in a journal. These actions are so simple you can't talk yourself out of them. And once you start, momentum takes over. One small win leads to another, and soon you've built a foundation that feels natural instead of forced. Starting today matters because tomorrow is never guaranteed. Every day you delay is a day lost. You may think, I'll start when life slows down, but life rarely slows down. You may think, I'll start when I feel more motivated, but motivation comes from action, not the other way around. Taking one small step today creates a spark of momentum that fuels motivation for tomorrow. Action creates energy. Progress creates confidence. Waiting only breeds more waiting. The truth is, you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. All you need is to decide today, I will do one small thing to move myself forward. If you walk for 10 minutes today, you're already healthier than you were yesterday. If you drink a glass of water instead of soda, you've already made a better choice. If you write down one thing you're grateful for, you've already shifted your perspective. These small victories matter. They build belief. They remind you that you are capable of change. Starting small also teaches you patience and resilience. Real transformation takes time. You don't build strength in a single workout, and you don't rewrite your habits in a single day. But when you start small, you learn to value progress instead of perfection. You start to trust the process instead of chasing quick fixes. And that trust keeps you moving forward even when results are not immediate. The people who succeed are not the ones who do everything perfectly from the start. They are the ones who start and keep starting one small step at a time. There's another powerful truth about starting today. It shifts your identity. Each small action is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. When you take a walk, you are casting a vote for being someone who moves. When you drink water, you are casting a vote for being someone who cares about their health. When you express gratitude, you are casting a vote for being someone who sees the good in life. Every action, no matter how small, is shaping who you are becoming. The sooner you start, the sooner you become that person. It's easy to look at others who seem far ahead and feel discouraged, but remember, they all started with one small step, just like you. Nobody wakes up at the top of the mountain. They climb it one step at a time. And if you're willing to start today, no matter how small the step, you've already placed yourself on the path to your own mountain. So let go of the idea that you need to wait for perfect conditions. Let go of the belief that change has to be massive or dramatic. Life is built on small moments, and change is built on small habits. What matters is not the size of the step, but the decision to take it. And you can make that decision today. Remember this, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. The same is true for your health, your energy, and your life. Start small, start today, and trust that those small steps will carry you farther than you ever imagined.